Good evening. It was a report that was supposed to shine a light on child protection failings within the Anglican Church. But an investigation by BBC South East today can reveal that there are significant inaccuracies within the historic cases review conducted by former High Court Judge Baroness Elizabeth Butler-Sloss.
Now, the review was commissioned to assess how the cases of two paedophile priests were handled, but evidence that we've unearthed appears to show that two bishops provided incorrect information to the inquiry. Our Home Affairs correspondent Colin Campbell has the story.
It was an inquiry that should have revealed the truth, how paedophile priests Colin Pritchard and Roy Cotton avoided timely justice, how Cotton, a convicted child abuser, remained in ministry. But we've discovered the Baroness Butler-Sloss report contains significant inaccuracies.
I think the Butler-Sloss report is completely discredited. I mean, there are so many errors in it now that have been clearly demonstrated by the BBC's investigation that I think it's lost all credibility.
I'm not sure what I can believe. I don't even know if I can believe any of the Sloss report now. You know, if there's errors, mistakes, cover-ups, whatever you want to call them, just one, do I believe the rest? I really don't know.
Cotton was ordained in 1966 despite having a conviction for indecently assaulting a choir boy. He went on to abuse at least 10 boys from Eastbourne in the 70s and 80s. In 1999, he retired as a priest after a failed police investigation. In that year, Bishop Wallace Benn, the Bishop of Lewes, gave Cotton permission to continue with his priestly duties. The bishop appears to have told Baroness Butler-Sloss that he wasn't concerned because of Cotton's continued ill health, his lack of contact with children. Reverend Val Gibbs accepts Cotton was not in good health. Once the organist at Settlescombe Church, she says he was still active, working in 3 churches with access to children.
On the 2 occasions that I met him actually in the church, he was celebrating the Eucharist and preaching, what we call presiding. They were both on a Sunday morning, which is when there's the best and highest attendance. And as I said earlier, there were children present. It was the full works, as it were.
My name is Bishop Wallace Benn, and here
Bishop Wallace Benn also appears to have told Baroness Butler-Sloss that the purpose of the permission to officiate issued in 1999 was to permit him to celebrate communion in the nursing home where he was then living. But we've discovered Roy Cotton was not living in a nursing home in 1999. When we sought clarification, the Diocese of Chichester told us that Roy Cotton went into the nursing home around 2001. But on Valentine's Day 2002, he conducted a wedding at Settlescombe Church in East Sussex. He was not admitted into a nursing home until September 2003, 4 years later than the report states. It was Reverend Duncan Lloyd-James who took over from Cotton, who spotted the inaccuracies.
Well, the significance is that the hierarchy in the diocese was saying it doesn't matter that he has this permission to officiate because he's only in the nursing home, only ministering there. And indeed, Baroness Butler-Sloss says that there's no evidence that he was ministering anywhere other than in the nursing home. But that isn't true. He wasn't even in a nursing home for the first 3 or 4 years after his retirement.
Cotton was not living in the nursing home because he was living here, in a bungalow in the middle of the village of Settlescombe in East Sussex. Bishop Wallace Benn, we've discovered, knew that he was resident here. What's worrying is that it's the same village where fellow paedophile priest Colin Pritchard was living and working, yet none of this was mentioned in the Baroness Butler-Sloss report. Bishop Wallace Benn's memory has, it seems, failed him on 2 further occasions in the past. He told Phil Johnson, a victim of Roy Cotton, that he knew Cotton had a conviction for indecently assaulting a choir boy before he retired.
He told me out of those conversations that there had been a previous conviction way back in the 70s, which I didn't know about.
The bishop gave a similar account to the Meekings inquiry, the first church-commissioned investigation into child protection failings. But in both cases, Bishop Wallace Benn revised his account, saying he mistakenly said conviction when he meant accusation or allegation. He told Baroness Butler-Sloss that he considered Roy Cotton a villain, and had he known of a conviction in 1999, then it would have been game, set and match.
If Bishop Wallace Benn knew that there had been a previous conviction, then this was a very serious matter. You know, you'd got somebody who had already been convicted of a child sex offence and was now facing allegations from 2 other people. You know, it would have seriously changed the tone of that police investigation. and that information should have been shared.
In May 2001, Cotton disclosed his conviction after being asked by Bishop Wallace Benn to complete a child protection form. The bishop says it was the first time he knew of the conviction. Baroness Butler-Sloss said in her report Bishop Wallace Benn should have immediately suspended Roy Cotton at this stage. In a statement, the diocese told us Cotton went into the nursing home around 2001, which is untrue, and the decision was taken for his permission to officiate to continue in the home, but with severe restrictions. But that's also untrue, as Cotton wasn't in a nursing home until 2003. What's worrying is nobody was, it seems, informed that Cotton posed a risk, including the priest who took over from him.
Well, it certainly would have helped to have known, given that I had the responsibility for the church, and therefore if I'd have known there had been concerns with Roy Cotton, then no, I would not have allowed him to minister within the churches that were under my care.
Baroness Butler-Sloss identified Bishop Wallace Benn as negligent in her review. At the time, she was unaware of the full extent of his blunders. The question is, why did the bishop allow a known paedophile to continue in ministry when he considered him a villain, when there were multiple allegations against him and a conviction?
That was our Home Affairs correspondent Colin Campbell reporting, and he joins me now in the studio. And Colin, I understand the diocese now accept that Roy Cotton didn't go into a nursing home until 2003.
That's right, Polly, but they've also revealed to us that Roy Cotton was officiating on at least 24 separate occasions at churches in East Sussex between 1999 and 2002, when he was said to be in that nursing home. Now, the diocese doesn't believe that the inaccuracies which we've identified undermine the credibility of the Baroness Butler-Sloss report. We are obviously, though, sending all of the information and our findings on to Baroness Butler-Sloss and are awaiting a response from Baroness Butler-Sloss. Bishop Wallace Benn has been unavailable for comment today. We were told some days ago, though, that he stands by his recollected account given to Baroness Butler-Sloss.
But there has been an apology from the Bishop of Chichester.
That's right. Bishop John Hine, the Bishop of Chichester, told me during an interview in May that Reverend Colin Pritchard, who was jailed for abusing boys, had not officiated in any churches in 2007. Well, we carried out our own checks and discovered that that is untrue. Bishop John Hine says that he apologises unreservedly if he said anything that was incorrect or misleading. Now, the victims of Roy Cotton say that they've completely lost trust in the bishops. They are now calling for immediate resignations.
OK, thank you, Colin.